Welcome to Reading the Bible with Andre. Today we're going to continue in Genesis chapter 11, and I'm reading out of the New Living Bible. Feel free to follow along if you have a Bible. If not, just listen closely and we'll get started. At that time, all mankind spoke a single language. As the population grew and spread eastward, a plain was discovered in the land of Babylon and was soon thickly populated. The people who lived there began to talk about building a great city with a temple tower reaching to the skies, a proud, eternal monument to themselves. This will weld us together, they said, and keep us from scattering all over the world. So they made great piles of hard-burned brick and collected bitumen to use as mortar. But when God came down to see the city and the tower mankind was making, he said, "Look, if you are able to accomplish all this when they have just begun to exploit their linguistic and political unity, just think of what they will do later. Nothing will be unattainable for them. Come, let us go down and give them different languages so that they won't understand each other's words." So, in that way, God scattered them all over the earth, and that ended the building of the city. This is why the city was called Babel, meaning confusion, because it was there that Jehovah confused them by giving them many languages, thus widely scattering them across the face of the earth. Shem's line of descendants included Arpachshad, born 2 years after the flood when Shem was 100 years old. After that, he lived another 500 years and had many sons and daughters. When Arpachshad was 35 years old, his son Shelah was born, and after that he lived another 403 years and had many sons and daughters. Shelah was 30 years old when his son Eber was born, living 403 years. After that, and had many sons and daughters. Eber was 34 years old when his son Peleg was born. He lived another 430 years afterwards and had many sons and daughters. Ru was 32 years old when Serug was born. He lived 207 years after that, with many sons and daughters. Serug was 30 years old when his son Nahor was born. He lived 200 years afterwards, with many sons and daughters. Nahor was 29 years old at the birth of his son Terah. He lived 119 years afterwards and had sons and daughters. By the time Terah was 70 years old, he had 3 sons, Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran had a son named Lot. But Haran died young in the land where he was born, and was survived by his father. Meanwhile, Abram married his half-sister Sarai, while his brother Nahor married their orphan niece Milcah, who was the daughter of their brother Haran, and she had a sister named Iscah. But Sarai was barren, she had no children. Then Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, and left Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. But they stopped instead at the city of Haran and settled there. And there Terah died at the age of 205. Wow, a lot of interesting stuff here. Just going back and just showing how God stopped the Tower of Babel from being built because mankind, to wrap it up, was going to be too prideful. Because if they could do that, then it was like, well, we don't need God. We can do whatever. So, interesting way how we got all our different languages in the world today as God decided to scatter the languages and for confusion's sake to stop them from being able to unite and accomplish that project. So, very interesting. And then we get a little more of a breakdown of the family tree and showing the people spreading around and having different sons and daughters, and everyone's still living a pretty long time back in that day as well. So pretty interesting, and also hit upon Lot being born in that too, which of course just a lot more to Lot's story as we just hit the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. So a lot of great things here, and also talking about Sarai, who was that's Sarah, as we'll learn about her a little bit more down the road. So a lot of good stuff there. So if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to leave them below. If you have any prayer requests, you can leave them below as well. You also have a praise report, as last time I asked you to pray for the NASCAR driver who was in that really bad accident, Ryan Newman. And thankfully, he fully recovered a few days after the accident and walked out of the hospital. Doesn't look like he sustained any permanent damage. So I consider that the answered prayer, miracle. I mean, the crash was really bad, and thanks to all the prayers out there that people gave for him, as many were praying for him, and God healed him. So that's looking very good as well. So if you have any prayer requests or anything on your mind or something you're struggling with, let me know and we can pray about it. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them below. So that's pretty much it for reading the Bible with Andre. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you very much, and have a good day.